Hi to everyone. Today our topic is symbolic processors. In the last video, we were discussing about CISC architecture, RISC architecture, VLAW architecture, and superscalar processors. Today we are going to see such a new processor which is called as symbolic processors. So what is meant by symbolic processor means it refers to a create a one AA application using conventional programming languages and high level. Okay, so it refers to create one AA application using conventional programming languages in a highest level. How we can create a AA application means here symbols are very important. So symbols are, what is meant by symbol? Then symbols are nothing but it's like a kind of variable. It refers one thing at a one moment to another one. Okay, so it refers to one thing at a one moment and another at another moment. Okay, it will vary, symbols are vary. So what is meant by symbolic processing? So symbolic processing is a new such a new and different technique. We are using the symbolic processing in the following applications. What are those means? In theorem proving, expert systems, text retrieval, cognitive search. So from the application itself, we can able to get one idea that symbolic processing is mainly used in the concept of artificial intelligence and its application, because expert systems, text retrieval, cognitive search and all are the major concepts involved in artificial intelligence. So that's what these symbolic processors are mainly used to create artificial intelligence applications. Okay, so it is also known as Lisp processor, Prolog processors, and also symbolic processors. So the other name for symbolic processors are Lisp processors and Prolog processors. Okay, so what is meant by Lisp? Lisp is a very important term here. So what is meant by Lisp means this Lisp is viewed as a set of functions in which the data are processed from function to function. Here the basic lowest unit and lowest measurement is Lisp. Lisp is considered as a set of function. Okay, Lisp is considered as a set of function in which the data from one function to another function can be processed and transferred and can be moved and accessed. So the processing of data in that function can be done within a function to function or from one function to another function. Okay, then concurrent execution of these functions form a parallelism. Concurrent execution of these functions. These functions are nothing but Lisp here. So concurrent execution of Lisp can form a parallelism. That means the parallelism among the Lisp execution is achieved. Okay. Then instead of dealing with multiple data, it deals with logical programs, symbolic list, objectives, scripts, blackboards, and production systems. Okay, so instead of dealing with multiple data over here, multiple data in the sense, whereas in scientific computations and whereas in arithmetic instructions and all, you will be that it consists of data, but here it deals with the logical programs, logical reasoning and logical concepts are involved in this symbolic processes. Okay, so how this symbolic processes do this um, logical programs means by inheriting the primitive operations of AA. So what are those primitive operations of AA means? First one is filtering, pattern matching, context retrieval, set operations, and reasoning operations. Okay, so these operations are considered as a primitive operations of AA. These operations demand these operations means below above operations demand, compare, matching logic and symbolic of operations. Okay, symbolic operations. So that's what the primitive operations of AI is executed and designed in symbolic processes. Okay. Then what are the main characteristics of symbolic processes means? First, knowledge representations. So knowledge representation is an attribute. What it has means this list, the relational database, scripts, semantic nets, frames, blackboards, objects, production systems. So these are the main characteristics of this knowledge representation. And similar, next one is common operations. What are the common operations of symbolic processes means? Searching, sorting, pattern matching, filtering, context, partitions, transitive, closures, unification, text retrieval, set operations, reasoning. Okay, so these are the main common operations of symbolic processes. And coming about the memory requirements, large memory with intensive access pattern, large memory with intensive access pattern, and addressing is often content based. Here the memory is content based memory, and locality of reference may not hold. Locality of reference is not associated here, and it has large memory with intensive access pattern. Okay, then communication patterns. This communication patterns varies in size and destination. And properties of input algorithms, this is very important one. Wherever you take interest of artificial intelligence, the main property of those algorithms are non-deterministic. Okay, so the result of that characteristics of algorithm in AI application is non-deterministic, and it will be executed parallelly and also distributed also. Then input and output requirements, mainly user guided programs, intelligent person machine interfaces, and we'll give the audio input as like a audio from keyboard, and it may be an online database like that. And architectural features are, main feature is dynamic load balancing, dynamic memory allocation, hardware supported garbage collections, stack processor architecture, symbolic processes. So these are the architectural features of symbolic processes. Then move on to typical architecture of symbolic processes. Here we have taken the one example architecture is Symbolic 360 Lisp processor. This architecture is a stack-oriented machine. It's a stack-oriented machine, and it is the architecture design is entirely different from the normal typical processor what we studied in the last topic are Spark, VLIW, superscalar architectures. So here it is entirely different. Here it consists of a largest operand selector, and it is shared with register, scratchpad, stack buffer, current instruction, main memory. And one more unit is added, and newly added here is garbage collector, because garbage collector plays a major role in retrieving unfrequently used data in the online database, or if it is the offline database. So this garbage collector is a very important role in processing artificial intelligence. So that's what in architectural wise this garbage collector unit is added. Then tag processes, fixed point processor, and floating point processor. This fixed point and floating point processor is common one, where it's common and it reflects the typical normal arithmetic processes. So that's what this stack buffer and scratchpad registers were implemented since most operands are fetched from cache. Okay, most operands are fetched from cache only. So this stack buffer and scratchpad registers are added, and it allows the simplified instruction set architecture, ISA. It allows, the symbolic processor allows simplified ISA, instruction set architecture.